The director of the International Institute of Population Sciences, K.S. James, has resigned. But this resignation has become a matter of huge controversy as the Union Health Ministry has been accused of forcing out one of India's top researchers in the field of population studies because of inconvenient data. So why did the Union Health Ministry first suspend K.S. James? Why did he resign? Why have some of India's leading academics alleged that he was made a scapegoat? And why has the opposition accused the Modi government of being allergic to data? Let me explain. K.S. James, the director of IIPS, was suspended for 90 days by the Union Health Ministry on July 28th. A day after his suspension, the ministry released a statement saying that it had received 35 complaints against James, and out of this, a fact-finding committee found merit prima facie in 11 of the allegations. The ministry alleged that the complaints against James were with regard to lapses in the appointment of staff, recruitment of faculty, failure to comply with the reservation roster, etc. But the ministry failed to point out what allegations the committee found to be true. The suspended director was also reportedly not informed of the committee's findings against him. According to The Wire, James submitted his resignation in August, but this wasn't accepted until October 11th. Curiously, the Union Health Ministry had revoked his suspension and reinstated him just hours before they accepted his resignation on October 11th. What's more, there was no clarity on the outcome of the fact-finding probe against him. This is why several academics have hit out at the Union government. In fact, following James's suspension, more than 800 leading academics under the India Academic Freedom Network wrote a letter to the Union Health Minister seeking that his suspension be revoked. In their letter, they accused the government of making him a scapegoat for the NFHS-5 or the National Family Health Survey 5's findings. So what are the NFHS-5's findings and what does K.S. James have to do with it? I'll get to the second question first. IIPS, which is based out of Mumbai, is an autonomous organization that reports to the Union Health Ministry. The research institute is responsible for carrying out the National Family Health Survey or the NFHS. This is a large-scale pan-India survey that provides essential data both at the national and state level on fertility, infant and child mortality, and other health and human development indicators. This data is important not just because it sheds light on emerging health and family welfare issues, but also because it helps the government formulate policies and implement programs. As director of IIPS, James led the fifth round of the NFHS between 2019 and 2021. And according to The Wire, James was part of a committee that approved the NFHS data before it was published. Some of the NFHS-5's findings didn't go down well with the Modi government because it contradicted its so-called achievements. So, what are some of these findings? 1. India is not open defecation free. The NFHS-5 report revealed that contrary to the government's claims, India is not open defecation free. It was in 2019 that Prime Minister Modi proudly declared India to be open defecation free, claiming that it was because of the government's Swachh Bharat movement that every Indian household had access to a toilet. The NFHS-5 report debunked this claim. It found that 19% of Indian households do not use a toilet, meaning that they still practiced open defecation. 2. More people are anemic. The NFHS-5 report found that there was an increase in the number of anemic people, including children. The data showed that 67% of children below the age of 5 were anemic, compared to 58% in the previous NFHS report. The data also showed that the number of women who are anemic increased from 53% in NFHS-4 to 57% in NFHS-5. The number of anemic men also increased by 2 percentage points between the two reports. These datasets came as a huge embarrassment to the Modi government and its Anemia Mukt Bharat strategy, which aimed to reduce anemia among all age groups by 18% by 2022. 3. 57% of rural India don't have LPG coverage. The Union government had grandly claimed that its Ujjwala Yojana had fueled a revolution, with a 98% LPG coverage in India. The BJP claimed that its flagship program had changed women's lives by giving them access to clean cooking fuel. The NFHS-5 report debunked this claim, showing that the coverage of LPG in India was not 98%, but in reality was only 58%. This figure came down further in rural India, where less than half of households had access to clean cooking fuel. James reportedly resisted the government's attempts to influence the data, and many of his peers alleged that it was because of his resistance he was forced out of IIPS. The Congress has been quick to accuse the Modi government of being allergic to any data that does not support its narrative. The Modi government has in the past withheld data that have run counter to its claims. For example, in 2019, it failed to release the National Sample Survey Office's 2017-2018 report after it found the unemployment rate to be at a 45-year high. The BJP government released the report only after it returned to power after the 2019 Lok Sabha elections. The government's decision to withhold the report led to the resignation of 2 members of the National Statistical Commission. More recently, it has also delayed conducting the 2021 census, with some suggesting that the Modi government may be trying to wriggle out of conducting a caste census at a time when the opposition has been pushing for it. With K.S. James's resignation, the government once again stands accused of shooting the messenger. But perhaps more worryingly, there are already questions being raised over the credibility of NFHS-6, which is currently underway. That's all from me for this week, but before I go, a quick reminder to support independent journalism. You can do so by becoming a member of the News Minute. The link is in the description. Also subscribe to our YouTube channels. And as always, if you like this video, hit the like button and share this video with your friends.